Hello, I'm Caroline Curtin, and welcome to the FOSI 2021 Annual Conference. As the chair of the Family Online Safety Institute, I am delighted to introduce this special gathering today. This is our 15th annual conference, the second that we've held as a virtual event, and believe it or not, the 20th anniversary of Xbox. I want to congratulate the whole FOSI team for their dedication and tireless effort to put the conference together. I'd particularly like to welcome our international speakers and participants who are joining us from many different time zones. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. I want to extend a huge thanks to our many generous sponsors. Please visit their virtual exhibit booths and reach out to them during the breaks. For those of you who are new to FOSI, we are an international nonprofit organization. FOSI's mission is to make the online world safer for kids and their families. FOSI convenes leaders in industry, government, and the nonprofit sectors to collaborate and innovate new solutions in online safety. Our theme for today is recovery and renewal, creating a path to a new normal. Many of the speakers will touch on this subject from a variety of angles. Also, stay tuned for the first reveal of our latest research project looking at Gen Z's attitudes and usage of tech tools that increase their safety, privacy, and security. As a proud mom of two Gen Zers, I am particularly looking forward to that. Thank you, Snap, for sponsoring this amazing research. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce FOSI's founder and CEO, Stephen Balkam, to offer some opening remarks.
Well, thank you very much for that, Caroline, and welcome everyone. It's disappointing to not be able to meet in person again this year, but we are delighted that we are virtually present and able to accommodate a much larger and more international audience than our normal physical events in Washington, D.C. I hope you enjoy the presentations, the fireside chats, the panels and exhibits. Make sure to meet up with your fellow attendees via direct message or through our networking function that pairs you with another participant. You'll find all of that on the left-hand side of the page. It's surprisingly fun and great connections can be made, so try it out during the breaks. I also strongly encourage you to visit the many wonderful exhibits that have been created by our sponsors and other supporting partners. These provide an excellent opportunity to get more information and to talk directly with the companies and organizations who will be with us today. And there will be some real physical giveaways this year. Check them out. You'll also notice a new feature on the right-hand side of the screen, an integrated Twitter feed. Make sure to include our hashtag FOSI 2021 or tag @FOSI to ask a question or to be featured. So last year's theme was building resilience, which seemed appropriate given that we were 9 months into the pandemic, but with no vaccine available and the dark winter months fast approaching. Here we are 12 months later, and while COVID is still very much with us, there are signs of hope everywhere. So we've decided to title this year's gathering Recovery and Renewal. Recognizing that we still have a long way to go, we wanted to focus on the lessons learned through this past year and to consider the policies, programs, and products that will help us to recover from this extraordinary time. And to look at the ways in which we can renew our sense of community, both on and offline, when so many factors have forced us apart. To find a way to a new normal, one that incorporates technology that is more humane, less intrusive, and which serves our needs, not the other way around. In all of our work, we are guided by a definition of online safety that says we will acknowledge the risks and mitigate the harms while also reaping the rewards of our and our kids' digital lives. We also know that to get the rewards, you must be willing to take some risks, reasonable risks, of course. And if kids are harmed by what they've seen, heard, or experienced, then we need to intervene, whether we be parents, educators, law enforcement, or the platforms themselves. This is particularly true with children from pre-K through middle school. It would be irresponsible to hand a 7-year-old a tablet with unfettered access to the web and hope for the best. Parental controls for young children are essential. However, something begins to change in the high school years. Teens begin to take on the responsibility of staying safe online, and they do it with the ever-expanding range of online safety tools that are built with young people in mind. It is during these years that we as parents go from monitoring to mentoring, and from blocking to talking. We become more like co-pilots with our kids, working things out collaboratively. And as we're about to hear in the research presentation, sometimes our kids are the ones teaching us a thing or two. So we have to approach digital parenting with a hefty dose of humility. No one parent is going to be familiar with the intricacies of Roblox, Fortnite, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, while also knowing the privacy and reporting mechanisms of Facebook, YouTube, Discord, and every gaming console. Instead, we need to talk with our teens and young people about how they are already staying safe and use their feedback to better inform what can be done to maintain their privacy, limit cybersecurity risks, and build a positive reputation online. Of course, it helps if we as adults and parents act as good role models, taking steps to stay safe online ourselves and to not engage in inflammatory behavior or spread fake news. Speaking of which, we have a panel on how to counter the spread of false information online. There will be discussions on the psychological impact of this past year and how we can promote well-being in our kids. We'll dive into the public policy developments, both here and overseas, and look at the latest online safety technology developments coming from our industry partners. And for the first time at a FOSI conference, we have a session on building safety in the metaverse, which, according to many observers, is the next great online platform. But before we take on these and many other challenging topics, we will begin with the release of our own research that takes an objective look at Gen Z's use of technology and their attitudes and usage of online safety tools. This study was conducted by the Harris Poll with the generous support of Snap. Our thanks go out to Jen Stout, Gina Woodworth, and all of their Snap colleagues who provided us with their time and expertise to make this groundbreaking report possible. So now, with no further ado, it is my very great pleasure to introduce David Crane and Jessica Massey of Harris, who will take us through their findings.